Hello everyone. Welcome to the third session. Can you see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So in first session, what we learned. So creating an application and a sample project. So we learned how to create and what is the structure. So about Visual Studio, these all we learned in first session. And coming to the second session, we learn about the different basic data types in C#.NET. So we have seen how we can declare integers, then strings, and then datetime, Boolean values, all this stuff. So apart from that, just we learn a couple of statements like write and write line, the difference between the write method and write line method. Okay, these are the concepts so far we covered. Now, today in this session, we are going to learn about the first one is about variables, or we can call this one as identifiers. Okay, then the rules we need to follow. So basically here we discuss about the Microsoft standards. Almost everyone follow this. So we discuss a little bit about Microsoft standards, but not in detail. So maybe in future sessions, we are going to learn about standards in detail. And the third one is the complete overview on console class. So these are the three concepts we are going to learn in today's session. So the first one is about variables. So already we discussed about the variables. The best example is here you can say int a equal to 10, right? So already I explained here integer is a data type and a is a variable, or in some cases we can call this one as a identifier. Then equal to is an operator and 10 is a value, nothing but a constant. So in this statement, what we are doing, just we are initializing value 10 into the variable a of data type integer, right? So we discussed this. Now, what is variable and what are the rules we need to remember, we need to keep in our mind when we are declaring any variables, right? So now, so what is variable? Very simple. Variable is a name. Variable is a name of memory which stores some value, in the sense. So when you say int a equal to 10, what you are doing, you are initializing this value 10 into the a. So what is a? So in this laptop, there is some memory allotted to store this value 10. That memory points to, the memory name we can call simply a variable that is nothing but a. For example, here date time d is nothing but a variable which stores the current date. And whenever you want, you can utilize that one, like Console.RealLine, you're printing the d. So this is the simple basic statement you need to remember. So whenever we are talking about a variable, so here this is straightforward variable. Then what is identifier? So identifier is nothing but maybe a class name. So for example, here you can see program.cs. We are working with program.cs. Program is nothing but a class name, right? So we can simply, this is the best example for identifier. So not only class name, in future we are going to learn about methods, properties, constructors, destructors, events, and enums, interfaces, structures, all these. So whatever the type you are creating, that is nothing but a identifier. So maybe if you want to create a class, then what you do simply, and this is the example to create a class 1. So this is now, forget about, don't bother about the property. So this is the property I'm creating. So this is a member, class member, and this is the class. So all we are discussing in upcoming classes, but as of now, just I want to give you some overview. What is identifier? It's maybe a class name, or it's maybe a property name, or a method name, or a constructor name, whatever it may be. So as a variable, in the sense it stores some value, right, somewhere. So that is nothing but a variable. Now what is identifier? It can be a class name or a property name or any method name, whatever it may be. So now while you are creating a variable or a identifier, we need to keep few points in our mind. Now we are going to discuss about those. The first one is, should start with a character. In the sense, for example, let me create here a variable int, sorry, clear this, come to the new line. Okay, now int my number equal to 10. This. So now this should start with a character. For example, if you want to give like int int 6a, it will not allow. So because it should start with a character, but it accepts like underscore a, because underscore treated as a character. So that one also we can add here. It should start with a character. So you don't accept any special character or any digits, the starting letter. Okay. And underscore is treated as a character. So then, for example, if you want to write like my number 6, it accepts. So what is the difference? The starting letter should be a character or underscore. Got it? And the next one is, don't include any spaces or special characters. See, for example, int my number is there, but if you want to write like int my space number, it will not allow you, because there is a space in between these two words, right? Now, suppose if you want to give like my @ number, it will not accept. My hash number, it will not accept. So you cannot include any special characters or any spaces, but it accepts underscore, because already I informed you underscore treated as a character. So my underscore number is a valid one, where my space number is invalid, or my some special character number also invalid. So this is the next point we need to consider. And the fourth one is, don't use reserved keywords. What are the reserved keywords? For example, here integer is a keyword, and if is a keyword, for is a keyword. Like we have few keywords, right? So object is a keyword. So simply, which you can see in blue color, that is nothing but a keyword. So you cannot use keyword names for a variable. For example, you cannot declare like a int if, because if also a keyword, so it will not accept. But still, if you want to use the reserved keywords as a variable, then you can use @ before the if it accepts. But see here, as for the second rule, you cannot, sorry, third rule, you cannot use the special characters. But in case of result keywords, you can include the @ before the keyword. So 99% we don't declare the variables like this, but in case if you want to use a reserved keyword as a variable, then you can use like this. And next point, so here I'm talking about the reserved keyword. So do we have any other keywords? Yes, we have. So for example, there is a keyword like int value. Value is a keyword, but it treats like a keyword in a specific scenario that we are going to learn in future. So this is if is a reserved keyword and value is not a reserved keyword. So you can use unreserved keyword as a variable in case if you require this. And next one is, it's not a thumb rule, but keep it in mind. Avoid case sensitive. Already, I believe we discussed about C# is the case sensitive in the sense int A is different from int capital A. Both are different. So let me comment this. So here, both are acceptable because small a is different and capital A also different. But in .NET framework, we can use a program which developed by using one programming language in another program. For example, here we are writing some code using C#. If you want, you can use the same logic in other language like VB.NET. So where VB.NET is not a case sensitive. In VB.NET, it is not allowed because it's not a case sensitive. But in C# it is case sensitive. Then there is a chance to have some errors. And here you can declare the variable name almost up to 256 characters. So why you want to keep your variables in such a kind? So it's very simple. You can declare like int number 1 in case if you want, then int number 2. Otherwise, int my special number. Yes. So it's a kind of suggestion. So try to avoid the case sensitive. These are the points you need to remember while you are creating a variable or any kind of identifier. So let me know in case if you have any doubts. Is everything clear? Okay, so we talked about the variables, then rules while we are creating the variables. Now, what about the Microsoft standards? Again, to discuss more about the Microsoft standards, we need some better examples. But if you observe here, what I'm doing here, see, if you take any my special number or my number 6, how I am declaring the variables. Here you can see my, here we have two words, my and number. My is in small characters, and the second, the first letter in second word is a capital one. So while you're declaring the variables, we have two cases, camel case and Pascal case. So these are the examples. These are the two scenario, cases we are using while declaring the variables. Just give me a moment, having a call. Okay, right. So those are the one is camel case and second one is a Pascal case. What is a camel case? So this is the example for the camel case. If you have two words, the first word will be in small and the first letter in second word will be the capital. For example, if you have three words like my big number, how you write? My in small, then big, B is capital, then big number. See, three words here. So first word always will be in small, then the first character in this word will be the caps. So my big number. This is example for camel case. Now, what about Pascal case? I write like this. If it is a Pascal case, my big number, this. So if you observe here, we have three words. So in three words, the first character is starting with a capital case. So my big number. So in this way, we declare any variables or identifiers. If you observe here, this statement console.RealLine. So console, if you observe here, it is in Pascal case. WriteLine is in Pascal case. See, write W is the capital and L also capital. Okay. And here again, we have a concept like global variable, local variables. So if it is a global variable, Microsoft suggesting you to declare starting with underscore. If it is a local variable, we are declaring like this, like set of rules the people are following. Those are nothing but Microsoft standards. Everyone follows those standards. Going forward, we are going to learn more about those things. But as of now, just think about this one Pascal case and camel case. And while you're declaring the variable, just keep it in mind if it is a local variable or global variable. What exactly the difference we see in next example, I mean in upcoming examples about local variables and global variables. But for now, just keep these points while you are creating any variables or identifiers. Is it clear? Then the third one is console class. Already we have seen so many statements by using the console class. What we did, simply console.WriteLine, and here we displayed a message like welcome, right? So already I explained you what exactly the console. Console is a built-in class, built-in in the sense we can say some people are calling as out of box. In the sense by default it comes when you install .NET into your machine. So it is a built-in class which has some standard, it has some methods to interact with the standard input output. So for example, WriteLine prints a message on the screen, right? In a similar way, we have another method that is nothing but write method. So already we have seen the differences between these two. So these two, the main difference is when you are using the WriteLine, the next statement will print in the next screen, right? So that is a difference. So what are other methods available in console class? So I don't know whether you observed or not. When you type console dot, you can see so many lists here. Okay, in this list, if you observe, we have mostly three kinds of icons here. The first one is this one. It looks like a cube. This indicates the method. And second one, uh, the symbol is looks like a span, which indicates something property. And the next one, third one is nothing but a event. So this console class have few methods, few properties, and only one event, that is nothing but cancel key press event. So, but mostly in our examples, we are using very less methods from this console. If you want to explore, you can explore more. But now just let me list all the useful methods here. Almost we have seen write and write line. In similar way, we have here read method. Then we have read line method, console.readLine, and we have console.readKey, and finally console.clear. These are the useful methods. We have so many methods, but these 6 methods we use frequently. Okay, frequently in the sense, and then mostly we are using console.writeLine, then console.readLine, then clear, only 3 methods. But sometimes maybe there is a chance to use read and read key. Now let me write a small example. Already we have seen this example. Int a equal to 10, then int b equal to 15, and simply write here console.writeLine. Then you know this syntax. I believe you practiced this one. Addition of, then this a, and then b is a plus b. So it prints addition of 10 and 15 is 25. So run the example and you can see. So here the value of a and b are hard coded, right? So let me run again. Hello world. So it is executing this one, my sample one. So see here we have 2 projects, right? If you observe, my sample is highlighted, in the sense you can see this is not highlighted and this one is the highlighted. So the highlighted one set as a startup project. That is the difference, in the sense. So right click on this project and here you have a option like set as startup project. Then you can see my app is highlighted and my sample is not highlighted. In the sense, when you run, so it executes the project which we set as a startup project. So see here, when I run now, I can see our example. Addition of 10 and 15 is 25. But earlier, my sample is set as default one. So it executed the class which is available in my sample project. Okay, so don't confuse. So very simple. When you have multiple project, right click on your required project and just select this one, set as startup project. Right. So if you run this now, here you can see 10 and 15 is 25. How many times you run, simply display this message on the screen like addition of 10 and 15 is 25. In the sense, here the value of a and b are hard coded, but I want to take this value of a and b from user in the sense at runtime. So here we have three times, 3 different scenarios. The first one is compile time. Then the second one is the runtime. Okay, so compile, then runtime. So here we have given the values. So whenever you compile, the values will be initialized, and always A has the value of 10 and B has the value of 15. But if you want to change those values at runtime, then what you need to do, runtime in the sense, this one, see here, when I run, I want to change the value of A and 15. What you need to do, you need to write a program, you need to modify this program, which accepts the values from user while the application is in running. So how to modify? So for that, here the other two methods like read or readLine methods are useful. So before going to implement the example, let me give you simple differences between the read and readLine method. So this is about a read method, and this is about readLine method. Just observe the differences and let me know which is the best method to use in our example. The first one is it reads only one character. Okay, and this it reads group of character. In the sense, let me write here. Take a variable like int c. Just don't give any values. Okay, otherwise just modify this. Int a. Don't give any values. Okay, and int b. Don't give any values. Then we need to observe this. When you try to run, it will show you error. So this is also one point you need to keep in your mind. Whereas coming to the variables, here you cannot use uninitialized variables. Again, here we have two kinds of variables, value types and reference types. So far, whatever we discuss, all are related to the value type only. Only the object and date time or the reference type. The rest of the things are value types. We are going to learn what is value type, what is reference type. But as of now, the types like integers, string, characters, boolean, all these are example for the value types. So when you have a value type variable without initializing the value, you cannot use. So that is why here it is showing error to you. Use of unassigned local variable. So because there is no value, so then what you need to do, you should initialize some value here. Then only you can utilize. See, the error gone. Now you can execute. Okay, so but as of now, let me initialize with these values a equal to 0, b equal to 0. Here in this example, I want to read the values at runtime, and we have here two methods, read and readLine, where read method reads only one character and readLine reads group of characters. That I want to show you here. Take here string variable like string input equal to some empty value. Now what I do, I will write a statement to the end user. Please enter the value for a. Enter a value and terminate this. So see the difference. See what it is doing. It is showing a message like enter a value. Then it is showing addition of 0 and 0 is 0. Now I want to take the input entered by the user. For that, what you need to do, we need to use here either console.read or readLine method. So I will use here read method. So then here in this case, it will show you error because input type is a string, but read methods, it reads and it returns the value of integer. So here, if you see console.read, the return type is integer in the sense when you use this read method, it returns a value of integer. So then what you need to do, you can initialize this into the variable a equal to console.read. So what happens, user will enter some value. That value we are storing into the a. So now let me run this. Now here you can see enter a value and it is waiting for user input. Earlier when I run, what happened? Immediately you observed a statement like addition of 0 and 0 equal to 0, right? But here, see, it is waiting for some input, in the sense read and read line and read key also. So it waits for a input. Now I want to enter some value here. So like, let me enter 4. Okay. So what happens? Addition of 52 and 0 is 52. I will explain why instead of 4, why it has taken 52. Okay. So observe this. Let me run again. Now this time I'm giving the value like 45. So enter your value. Again, see, it is displaying 52 and 52 because this you need to observe. Reads only one character. Even though you enter 45, it reads only 4. Got it? That is why 2 times when you enter 4, it is showing addition of 52. At the same time, when you enter 45, again it is showing addition of 52. Even if you enter 450 also, it reads only 4 only. Now, let me change this. Let me add another point here. Returns integer, right? Now, it returns string value. Returns string value. So let me enter here console.WriteLine, enter b value. Now b equal to console.readLine. Again, here it will show you error because mouse over on the readLine method, then it will show you some description. Console.readLine returns string value. So I believe you are following this. So read method returns integer value. See, readLine method returns string value. So then what happens here? B is a type of integer. So you're trying to initialize string value into B. So it is showing error. See, cannot implicitly convert type string to integer. Then here, let me take here input. Because input is a string type, so readLine reads string and stores into the string variable. Now let me print here console.WriteLine. Input value is we are getting from input. So let me add here dollar symbol and use here input. Now once you run, A has the value entered by the user, B has the value 0. So it will give you the addition, and before printing this statement, it prints the value, second value entered by the user. Let me run this. No, enter a value. So I'm entering like 25, but it reads only 2. Then enter B value. Should wait here. Let me do it again. 2. It should wait here also. Maybe there is some update here. Once you use console.read, then we cannot use console.readLine. So that is why it is not waiting for input. So let me comment this. Then what I'm taking here, enter B value. Then that value we are reading and storing into the second value. Now maybe you can take your input equal to this, then this. Now run this time. Now here I'm entering same like 45. So now here it will give you 45 because it reads a group of characters. So how many characters you enter, it reads those values. Okay, but the problem is you should understand this: returns integer and returns string value. So returns integer in the sense it reads ASCII value. I believe you know about ASCII values, American Standard Codes for Information Interchange. Okay, and this reads string value. So now here you should understand what is ASCII value. So let me again comment these 2 lines, then uncomment this. Okay, run this example. Now enter some 45 or some 55. So instead of 5, what did you do? Usually console.read reads only one character, right? So here the first character is 5. It reads only one character, that too ASCII value of that character. So in the sense when you enter, it reads, we're not printing that value. Let me print here, console.WriteLine. Yeah. So it reads the character, only one character, and it reads the ASCII value of that character. In that sense, if you want to know ASCII value of any character, then you can use console.read. See this? The capital A ASCII value is 65. It is small a, I believe it will give us 93, 97. So every character has a kind of ASCII value, even for special characters like hash or dollar. There is a ASCII value for that character. So it reads only one character, but reads the ASCII value of the character. That is why it is giving, when you enter some value, it is giving other than that value. It is giving its ASCII value. So it is not recommended always. In case if you need ASCII value, then only read method is suitable. But in all scenarios, readLine method is the suitable one. So, but if you observe here, readLine methods reads the string value. So what is string? Let me explain here. For example, 4, it is the integer. Okay. Then 4 within the single quote, it is character. Then 4 within double quotes, it is string. So in the sense, if you enter just 4, it reads the 4, but it returns in the format of string. So when you type like int a equal to 4, what happens? It will show you error because the string type we cannot convert into the integer. Okay, so then what is the solution? What is the fix for this? We have a fix for this. But before that, just try to understand these 3 differences between read and readLine, and the difference between the integer, char, and string. So any questions so far? Okay, now what I do, let me initialize with 0, clear all this stuff. Now here we have two variables, a equal to 0 and b equal to 0. Then what we need to do, we need to initialize the a value and b value at runtime. So for that, here what we are doing here console.WriteLine, enter a value, enter a value. Then we are displaying some message on the screen. User understands, okay, he enters some value. Now we want to initialize the value entered by the user. So by using the read line. Now the problem is read line returns string value and we cannot initialize into the integer variables. So what we need to do, we need to convert this into the respective data type. So to convert one data type to another data type, so here we have a class that is nothing but convert, like console. Convert also a predefined class available in system namespace. Here you can see system.convert, a base data type to another base data type. What are the base data types? Already we listed, right? So integer, short, byte, long, double, string, character, all these. So here, this class has some predefined methods. For example, now here, what is the type of a integer, right? So integer in the sense already we explained this is int 32. The type is int 32. So here with convert class, we have two int 32 method. So this method takes some value, any value, and it converts into the int 32, right? So now here I'm using here console.readline. So now very simple, console.readline reads the value entered by the user, right? So that value, it reads in the format of string, in the sense within double quotes like this. Now that we are converting into the integer. So to understand easily what I do here, instead of reading the user entered value, I'm giving like this 10. Then console.WriteLine, enter b value. We are displaying another message to the end user. So then b equal to convert dot to int 32. Then here this is 15. See, whatever the value you are passing within the method, it converts into the respective data type. Now this is a string type and converting into the integer, and we are storing into the a. Finally, display here console.WriteLine, the statement, with the dollar symbol, addition of a and b is a plus b. Okay, now run this. Here, even though it displays you enter a value and enter b value, we are not reading the values from the user because we are not using console.readline. Simply, we are converting 10 into the number, 15 into the number, and we are displaying. Okay, but our intention is we need to read this value from the user, so that replace this with console.readline. In similar way, replace this 15 with console.readline. Now, if you run this, so it will ask you enter a value, give some 45, then enter b value, give some 55. So addition of 45 and 55 is 100. This is. So this is a simple example to demonstrate how, to take the input values from the end user at runtime. So for that, you need another two classes, read and readline, but forget about the read. So we can use readline method. So it reads string value. So we need to convert into the respective data type when we are using some arithmetical operations. So any doubts? We can extend this example, but it is enough for today. In next session, we are going to extend this. So extend in the sense, say this. So when you display a message like enter a value, if user enters a integer value, it's okay, no problem. But if what happens if user enters some characters? Now what we are doing technically here, we are converting some input into the integer. Now user entered characters, string value. So this string, this string in the sense it is also string, but here the characters, these characters, we cannot convert into the number, right? Then it will show you error. Input string was not in a correct format. So how to fix this error, and what are the best ways to give this example without any errors? So that we are going to discuss in next session. Then later we are going to learn about the operators. So let me know if you have any questions, or else we close the call.